you know when we're ready. Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, my windows are down.
You don't have Keisha.
Well, I'm in my house. It's probably already stopped raining. I hate this weather.
Andre, we're all set.
Thank you, Millie. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the New Shoreham Town Council meeting for Tuesday, July 6, 2021. The New Shoreham Town Council is meeting via Zoom to State of Rhode Island Executive Order 20-46, dated June 12th, 2020. And I want to remind everybody that we do not have the bandwidth to support video, so if you'd like to participate, to raise your hand on your phone, press *9. And when you are called on, please state your name and let us know what's on your mind this evening. To mute and unmute, you press *6. Supporting documents for this agenda are at the clerk-based website. And this meeting is being streamed live via our YouTube channel. I would like to also thank Keisha and Millie for being with us tonight and making this all happen. Without further comment, we'll go on to number 1 on the agenda, which is public comment. Does anybody from the public have any comments for the town council this evening? Seeing none. Number 2, I'm going to go on to number 2 on the agenda, and that is the town council's meeting as the Board of License Commissioners to receive and act on the transfer of application of a BV liquor license. That would entail a transfer of that license from Ernie's Old Harbor Restaurant Incorporated stockholders Frederick J. Howarth, Jason Howarth, Deborah B. Howarth to Tail Fins LLC, member John J. Franchi, doing business as Finn Seafood Restaurant, 212 Water Street, Plat 6, Lot 157. I will make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor? Keith?
Yep.
Martha?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Sven?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0 to open to the public hearing with the transfer of the liquor license. Councilors, I see we've all had this in our packet. Is there any comments from anybody? Comments from the public?
Andre, are they here and I guess are they here and can they just describe a little bit about timing and plans with the restaurant or the liquor license? Just a little bit more than was in the application because it was pretty sparse.
Yeah. Hi, Sven. Eric Wallen. I'm here on behalf of John Franchi. He's buying the property from.
I saw his name on the application. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, he's buying the property from Deb and Fred Howarth. They've run that as Finn's Restaurant now for it's at least 40 years, I think. They could tell you better than I could, but certainly they were a going concern when I got on the island in '88. So John's been coming to the island for about 30 years. He's his business is actually involved in the medical equipment industry. There's something called the Da Vinci robotic surgery program that apparently will revolutionize remote surgery, and he was lucky enough to be involved with that with his business. So he's now looking towards retirement. He's bought a house on the island, and he and Deb have both been working very hard to get the restaurant open. If you didn't know, it was open over the weekend just for food. His plan is to keep the restaurant as Debbie and Freddie had it. Some of you know I used to drive taxi on the island, and if I recommended Finn's, I never had anybody come back to me and say they had a bad meal. It was always one of those solid choices. It's not a high-end restaurant. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to keep it as it always traditionally was. Name's not going to change. So that's the plan. Essentially continue what they started almost 40 years ago. And so
thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, my video's off, but signal's a little weird with the storm right now, so I apologize about the video. So they're going to sort of step back from where Jess was for the last 2 years and more back to Finn's. Is that what you're
Correct.
saying, basically?
Correct. Yeah,
Seafood, restaurant, bar setting.
correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, I believe that's all in the packet, the menus in the packet, and I see someone from the public has a comment, and it is the phone number 401-662-5391. If you could unmute your phone and let us know your name for the record.
Hi, it's Debbie Howarth.
Hi, Debbie.
Just letting you know I'm here, confirming what Eric said. It has been 40 years that we ran Finn's, and we support John wholeheartedly. I think he's going to do a great job, and we'll vote in favor.
Thank you, Debbie. It was nice to see it open this weekend. I did notice that.
Yeah.
Any other comments from anybody? I will make.
Deb, Andrea Smith, a question.
Go ahead, Martha.
I understood from what Eric said that the building is being sold. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Okay, so I think actually
He's purchasing
isn't
the
your
building
family-
and the business.
I'm sorry. Hold on, Debbie. Martha.
So I was only saying I think the family's owned it for closer to 40 years, isn't it? The building. Not- not
1961. 61, 50 years.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, great. Okay, I knew it was the 60s. I guess it wasn't exact. Of course, it was when the post
No,
office
60
moved.
years. 60 years. Sorry.
Yes.
All set, Martha?
Yeah. Yes. Thanks. I just wanted to clarify that because it's that building has only been in 3 ownerships. This will only be the 3rd ownership that building's ever been in, family ownership. And Block Island is on the news. What the heck?
Thank you, Martha, for your comments. I will make a motion to grant a transfer of a Class BV liquor license from Ernie's Old Home Restaurant Incorporated, stockholders Frederick J. Howarth, Jason Howarth, and Deborah B. Howarth to Tail Fins LLC, member John Franchi, doing business as Finn Seafood Restaurant, 212 Water Street, Plat 6, Lot 157, Lot 157, pending receipt of clearance from the Rhode Island Division of Taxation, an insurance certificate, and to further require the correction of any fire code violations, and that food be available at the sandwich level as opposed to offering solely snack foods during all times alcoholic beverages are sold.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Mark?
Aye.
Sven?
Aye.
Martha? Martha, you're in favor?
Here, can you hear me?
I can. Now I can. Are you in favor?
I'm in favor, yes, but I don't want to say something afterwards.
Okay, thank you. And Keith, are you in favor?
Yes.
I'm in favor. The motion will pass for the transfer of the liquor license to, by a vote of 5-0. And I did, and Martha, go ahead. I do want to say something.
No, I just wanted to say for the length of time, that's why I wanted the date clarified. When the family bought that property, there wasn't a whole lot going on Block Island, and going into business out here is kind of buying a building and going into business is a real effort and leap of faith, and they have been the whole family has been extraordinary stewards for half a century, and they've always run a nice business. And as a member of the family that sold it, and as a member of this community, I'd like to thank them for everything they've done.
Thank
Publicly
you.
thank them.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Martha. And I just kind of want to say the same, Debbie and Freddie. I hope you really now can enjoy your retirement. We know you've been there
Thank
many
you.
years, provided a great service. And to Mr. Franchi, congratulations on your new acquisition on the island. I'm impressed with the menu. I'm impressed there's no changes. It's always been a wonderful spot for anybody who comes here to go. And good luck with your new venture in your retirement also.
On his behalf, thank you.
Thank you, Eric. All right. Well, number 3 on the agenda is, I got to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Yep.
I have a second.
Second.
Second by Mark. All those in favor, Keith?
Yes.
Sven?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Public hearing is closed. Number 3 on the agenda is the police chief's report. Is Chief Moynihan here this evening? Yes. Hi, Chief.
Good evening. How are you?
We're good this evening.
So relatively quiet weekend. This report will just encompass the time period from Friday morning through this morning. We had 1 disorderly conduct arrest. We investigated 3 motor vehicle collisions. 2 of those involved mopeds, rental mopeds. 1 was a single vehicle moped with a single occupant, where the operator sustained a scratch to his knee, refused treatment, but through the state law was still required to investigate that and document that as a crash report within the guidelines of Rhode Island general law. The second was a moped versus a parked car. There were no injuries reported on that, but damage did exceed $1,000. The third crash over the weekend period was just a hit and run, which following the investigation, both parties were identified, and so that crash report was completed. We did see 2 bicycle accidents this weekend. Both were transported to the medical center and then later off island for treatment. There was 1 moped seized by the rental agencies for a breach of contract, and that was based on observed erratic operation and the vehicle being stopped by officers. We did have a incident on Sunday morning at the beach just below the Overview Pavilion, the Ocean View Pavilion, where a large number of youths were on the beach. There was public drinking. We got down there. We did intercede, but there was, in excess of probably 500. The numbers are varying of how many are down there, but this is something that I met with Town Manager Crawford this morning, and I think we need to look at some other options there. What they're accessing that area from some paths that were cut in the brush area. The paths aren't adequate enough for public safety, whether it's police or rescue, to get down and either patrol that area or even respond to an emergency. And so I think we really have to evaluate that area. And so we do have a meeting with the Land Trust tomorrow morning to discuss our concerns there, because it really limits our ability to enforce any type of public drinking, any underage drinking, any drinking on the beach, and then most importantly, to respond in a timely manner to any emergency that's out there. So that's going to be an ongoing discussion, and I hope to have an update on how we can resolve that in the near future.
Thank you.
That's all I have, and any questions I'm happy to answer.
Andre?
Do any councilors have any questions from that? Sven, go-
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm going to turn my video off, Chief Moynihan. Sorry about that. Just I don't want the system to interrupt me. You may want to also check with the counselors and people. There used to be access to that beach right along the line between Ballards and the Ocean View Pavilion, basically to the right there as you can enter in. And you could then cut to the right, and that's sort of been blocked over the years by dumpsters, and it's been open sort of back and forth. And I know potentially, Steve Filippi would be open to getting access, because obviously an ambulance has to get down there. That's a whole nother discussion. And so I think a conversation with the Land Trust probably sounds very appropriate, but I think also a conversation with Mr. Filippi would also be very appropriate, because if for God's sake, somebody gets hurt down there and you need to get an ambulance or even the gator, that is the best way. I believe historically that's been the best way to do it. So I just offer that as historical information, and Martha and others can probably help. Well,
And we were in close contact with Steve Filippi throughout the weekend and specifically on Sunday during this time. And that access is closed. He had his security personnel restricting any access to the beach. So what we saw is that majority of the people ended up entering the beach area from those paths. Once we were made aware of it, and this happened basically the first and second boat came on. We were dedicating our resources to unloading the passengers and a large amount of crowds for that day on the island. And by the time we got to it, they were already on the beach. And so we're looking at other strategies from our standpoint to prevent that in the future. And, but my, assessment of it and looking at it, the people accessed it from the overlook area, not from Mr. Filippi's property. And then secondly is, we have assessed getting emergency vehicles in through there. But again, that's going on a beach where, Sunday was a very busy day. Monday also was very busy. We wouldn't be able to get vehicles on where people are on the beach. There are too many people on the beach. So, that would pose another threat and another real potential situation with someone on the beach and vehicles kind of going back and forth. It's not designed for that. I think we really have to look at the access points and come up with a plan.
Yeah, and my comment was not that people were entering from that area, but rather access to that area for you. That was really my point. So great. I'm glad you're talking to everybody, and it sounds like you're making great headway. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you, Andre.
You're welcome, Sven. Any other councilors have any questions for Mark? Go ahead.
2 items. They both sound, actually are evidence that the training or education that originates on Weldon's Way is either non-existent or truly substandard. The first deals with hours of operation. I understand it's 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I've called in several times to the police station regarding mopeds in violation. And when I talk to them and turn it into a teachable moment, again, not to step on your toes, Chief, or any of your officers, they all say that they were not instructed about that very thing. So we have to, that's a quality of life issue more so than it is safety. But I would like to see that more strictly enforced. And secondly, I called 2 instances as this past weekend, children on mopeds. One young child was wedged in between father and mother while riding quite erratically. And I was just wondering, in those 2 instances where an officer did indeed find the people, what happens in that instance? Is it just a teachable moment, or they have to surrender the moped and be charged?
Right. In each instance, we deal with individually, and at no time, even as the chief of police, will I ever take discretion away from any of my officers. First and foremost is education. With any traffic violation, whether it be speeding, turn signal, seatbelt, it's to ensure. And I know the incident you're speaking of, and I appreciate you calling us. I've continued to talk about the see something, say something. We can't be everywhere. If erratic operation or dangerous behavior or violations are observed, we're asking for people to reach out. And in that instance, that family was stopped. When they rented the moped, they didn't have the child with them. They were unaware. And to be quite frank, I was shocked by that. They were a foreign couple that, when I say foreign being from out of the country, and just really weren't aware of what our regulations were. We were able to educate them. We transported the child to a safe area and ensure that, that behavior is not going to happen. And again, discretion is something part of law enforcement that, we look at is what's effective. Is a fine effective, or is it more of a messaging and stopping bad behavior and ensuring it's not going to continue. And I'll never interfere with that as the chief of police. And I don't think there's any place for any town council to interfere with that. That's part of policing in that you stop bad behavior, you educate, and you move on from there. We document every stop we make. When someone gets a warning, it's known to us. If they continue with bad behavior, there's no such thing as a warning the second time around.
Thank you, Chief. Mark, you want to follow up?
Another byproduct of this moped issue is something I've had conversations with so many people I can't even calculate. And that is the cynical factor. Recently, we've been told we need data. Data, we must have data. How many life stars? How many ambulance runs? How many this, how many that? It really can turn you cynical if you don't stay focused, because someone could easily say, where are we going to get the data? We're going to get it from accidents. So let's look the other way. Let's allow things to happen that we know shouldn't be happening. It's just a terrible way to approach this obsession and appetite for data. It's not going to make me cynical. I'm not giving up the fight. I'm going to try everything in my means, as you have done all summer long, Chief, to prevent accidents from happening. But it just highlights that this issue needs to be addressed and not kicked down the road anymore.
Thank you, Mark. Any other councilors have any comments? Martha Ball, I'm going to give you the opportunity because I don't see you and I sometimes do forget that you're there.
Okay. No, I was going to make an unrelated comment that driving through town, I've noticed that, and today seemed to be worse. I think maybe the weather was a little bit better. The number of cars that get backed up by the traffic direction. But on the other hand, this is what Mike Shea has been telling us for years, the head of the highway department, that people are the biggest, people walking in the streets are a huge problem down there. And if we have to be backed up, like you might be if you were in a small town on the mainland, in order to get people across the street in the crosswalk from the boat to the sidewalk and places like that, I think everybody just has to have a little patience. It seems to be helping.
Thank you, Martha.
Appreciate it.
Keith Stover, your hands up?
Yes, I just wanted to say, first of all, if ever sort of the cliche of drinking from a fire hose is true, it's 4th of July weekend for a police officer on Block Island, and honestly, I had one occasion to speak with one of the officers on Weldon's Way after almost getting T-boned by a couple of moped riders, and I have to say I didn't get the officer's name, but he was incredibly responsive, went over and spoke with the people, and I got to tell you, I get, and I think the community gets how hard you're working, and we appreciate it, Chief. So thank you. I want to raise another issue, though, that we all, and maybe believe me, there's plenty of room in my head for the notion that it's just me, but has anybody noticed how crazy the parking situation is getting? It seems like every patch of grass that's available between town and Corn Neck and over to New Harbor has cars parked on it. And I know I've been really impressed by what I've seen of the CSOs really taking the parking on Water Street, and in the downtown area seriously. But I would just say there's something about having cars literally almost everywhere that I don't know. It looks bad. It makes already narrow roads even narrower, and I just wanted to raise it because I saw it myself, and I had, I don't know, 2 or 3 people today say, Jesus, did you notice the parking? And I had to say, I did. So just raise it, Chief, as something that some folks are talking about. Thank you.
Yep. If I may just respond to that, and I agree with you in coming from the outside, looking in, and being new to the island is, it's almost a whack-a-mole situation. We're seeing it on Coast Guard Road or Champlain's Road. And I don't think any of us want to see a whole street lined with no parking signs for miles. I mean, but this, we can only enforce when signs are present. And so we can talk about West Side Road or West Side Road or Ocean Road. And it's just, we don't want to, I don't think anyone wants to turn the island into just roadways of signage, kind of directing people where they're to park. And that's kind of a struggle that we go through with people parking on the grass.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Sven, I see your hands up.
Yep. First of all, again, thank you, Chief Monahan, for doing everything you are doing. And the one area in the CSOs, like I know Keith mentioned, but the CSOs have really been just very, very present, and it's been very clear. One area that I have over the years probably pointed to that to me is a bicyclist nightmare is what I call Four Corners or Bridgegate Square. And this weekend I saw, I couldn't count them on my hands anymore of bikes basically quote unquote blowing through. And I dread the day. I dread the day. And so I don't know if that's, whether that's a CSO thing where you can just sort of stop people, or somehow that's an area that I know you're focused on so many other areas, and great, we have 500 people on a beach. I mean, oh my Lord. So you got to take priorities, and thank you for that. But that is an area that I think is not so much about mopeds, but it is walkers and bikers. And, the idea of order of traffic, you suddenly see one person starting to go, and rather than have it go clockwise, next thing you know, the other guy, it's like chaos. So anyway, food for thought, and thank you very much.
Just to respond also to that, so with that is on our radar. I have seen it backed up. That is a tough intersection with just pedestrian crossing the cars. And so we will be focusing on that when it does back up to try to alleviate and just get the traffic flowing through there more orderly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sven. Thank you, Matt. I'll just comment that, Chief, I know all the issues that were brought up by the council tonight. I'm confident and comfortable in knowing that you're observing all of this and working on it. And I'm confident. I mean, I know you and Mary Ann will come up with great solutions to these issues. And I just want to let you know, if you need anything from this council in the future, you have my 100% and complete support on that. The beach, Mary Ann, would you want to jump in? And, that was obviously the council got texts, some nasty, you created this and this and that. And that's fine. But I just want, Mary Ann, can you explain how that got cleaned up the next day? Because I think it's very important.
I agree with you on that one. So Chief Monahan did call me, I think it was late Monday, sometime Monday about what happened on the beach area. Then later that evening, or the next one, I did get a picture that showed that the beach was pretty much overtaken by cans, all kinds of cans and litter. So I said, let me walk down, make an assessment of it, and see where I can go with it from there. So I walked down, and I have to agree with the chief. As I was going through this path, through that path, so I can see there was a number of paths. So I have an understanding now how a number of the folks that did get down there on Sunday. And there were a bunch of young adults down there. There must have been about 10, 15 of them. They just arrived probably about 10 to 15 minutes before I did, based on my conversation with the CSOs, and they were cleaning up the beach. I then said, let me try to, they said 2 of them went home to get a couple of trash bags. So I went over to Steve's Flippy over to his security folks. I said, hey, can you go get Steve and ask him if he can give us some trash bags? We're starting to clean the beach up. So I brought the trash bags up, started cleaning the beach up with these young adults, and finally we got it cleaned. There was about, in the end, about 15 garbage bags. And, you know, I proceeded to say to them, can I take some pictures? So I took some pictures, and then I asked them, you know, where you're visiting here from? And they proceeded to tell me that they live in North Kingston. I said, oh, great. I said, I lived over on Jamestown, the next island over next to you folks in North Kingston. Well, 3 of the young adults raised their hands and said, hey, I'm from Jamestown. I'm from Jamestown. And they gave me their name, and one name I'm familiar with. And also Chief Monahan's wife, Mrs. Monahan, is a colleague of that individual's father. So she was going to reach out and see if we can get the names of all the young adults that were there and try to send a personal thank you note or something to them. It was just really encouraging to know when I walked down there to a beach where I thought I was going to try to clean myself, and found that there was 10 to 15 of them, and they had 90% of the work done before I can even get trash bags there. So within 15 minutes, that beach looked fine and cleaned up. So kudos to them. Thank you to them. It was just really, really pleasing that after I finished there, I could leave, you know, run home, get cleaned up a little bit, and run back down to the parade and walk around town. So it was greatly appreciated for what they did. And they were not pleased, and their comments were quite direct about how someone could actually leave the shoreline looking like they did. So, you know, you had one day where people weren't as appreciative and respectful for the water and the beach, and the next day you had this, just the complete opposite. So
Thank
I
you.
was really pleased.
Yes, Mary Ann, I think we were all pleased to see that, because we had a group of volunteers that just went down there and took it upon themselves to clean it up, who did not live on Block Island at all and had nothing to do with the island. So very impressive, very happy about that. I hope you have a productive discussion with the land trust tomorrow. And like I said, if you want to give us an update on that and what's going to go on down there, that would be appreciated, just so we know, because I think when I saw that going on, I mean, you could see it driving down Spring Street too. It's like, okay, here's the new spot. So we don't want that to happen. So like I said, I am absolutely comfortable and confident with Mary Ann and Chief working on a solution to this that'll benefit everybody. So that being said, if anybody has any comments for the chief while he's here, feel free. Mark, go ahead.
One last thing, and it's a repeat of something I've said several times. Anyone here who doesn't think this island has not been much approved by the hiring of our police chief is, again, living on a different island. Chief and his staff have really turned it around.
Thank you, Mark. I don't see any comments from the public, so I'll go on to the next. Chief, thanks for coming tonight. I know you're super busy. You can stay if you'd like, but nice.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is to receive and act on a recommendation to include costs to drop construction to 513 accessory apartments in the socialized construction costs of the island-wide broadband network. Mary Ann. Oh, I see Amy's here. Amy, you're muted.
I was just going to say, you folks have a memo from the Broadband Committee here, and Amy Lands is here to represent the Broadband Committee if the council members had any comments or questions regarding the memo or the item that's before you this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary Ann. Counselors have any question about the item? Go ahead, Keith.
Two things. This to me is an easy one. If the broadband group thinks this is the right way to do it, that's I'm in. It just raised for me an issue that I have spoken briefly with Amy about literally months ago, and that is what the plan is to try to ensure affordability for lower income individuals and families when broadband comes online. Because if we've learned if we've learned anything over the last year, it's how essential quality access is to particularly to young people who are either in grade school, middle school, high school, but even college and beyond, and that for some families, the prices of these services can be out of reach. So I'm assuming, given what a great job the broadband committee has done, that this is on the table, but I just want to ensure that it is, because from my perspective, part of our responsibility as a town is to ensure that there's affordable access to this service when we get it up and running.
Thank you, Keith. Anyone want to answer that, or you want to just tackle the item on the cost of this?
I'd be happy to just sort of acknowledge that we, the committee, we, the town, are focused on the affordability of that service going forward after construction. There are a lot of avenues that we're pursuing right now. There's a lot of funding out there. Being on the radar and actually executing are two different things. And so there may be a point at which we're going to need assistance getting to the finish line on projects like that. We're certainly working to leverage right now the Emergency Connectivity Fund, which coordinates with schools and libraries to reach particularly some of those populations that might have service sustainability questions. But it's something that we'll be tackling even in more detail as we move from construction to operations.
I figured. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. Amy, so this additional funds, just the $104,000, is that?
Or that's kind of a ceiling. It's a really high ceiling because the building and zoning departments are still, or they're actually currently in the process of recertifying 513s. They're doing a thorough vetting of what the eligible properties are. So that 52 count was what was in place previously. That number may change. And then we've used a pretty expansive estimate for distance. Every property is different in terms of what it costs to connect. It depends on how far the two units may be. So I really feel like that's a really high estimate, but I wanted to be as conservative as possible. So
thank you. And that 104,000.
We're talking about 1% of the total project. So
right. So, but that 1%, not 1%, that $104,000. Just so the public's clear, where would that come from? Would that be part of the bonding? Because I know we bonded up to $8 million. Is this part of the bonding of up to $8 million?
it would be part of that. And we're still, we have not issued that $8 million bond. We're still waiting for all the pieces to fall into place. That's really dependent on a couple critical things at this point, and that's the number of residents that actually connect, the amount of outside funding that we might be able to secure. So we've got two different paths going there. So it would come out of the $8 million that's authorized, and we're still working on exactly pinpointing that total project budget right now.
Great, thank you. I just want to get it out there to make sure that everybody knew that this is not coming out of the town's budget right now that we approved. It will obviously come out of the budget at a future time, but it's not something, it's not impacting any budget right now until we bond it, correct?
It's not a general fund operating cost. It's a construction project cost, yes.
Thank you, Amy. Sven, do you have a question?
Yeah, Amy,
Yeah.
real quickly, and following up a bit on Keith, at some point in August, September, October, whenever is appropriate, it would be really helpful to get an update from you on affordable housing, drops. And I'm really talking not drops now. So one is obviously the rate, which I think Keith was really touching on. How do we make sure that ongoing is affordable? But just on the drop costs for different, I'll call it zones or housing structures, because you could argue affordable housing, or one could argue that maybe there's a benefit to having a lower drop cost or something of that nature. Can you update us maybe in a couple of months as to what the plan is?
Well, can I clarify now?
Yeah, well, it's up to you.
Okay, because what the program calls for is, if you think back to early 2020, I believe, is that total project cost of constructing the entire network, including drops from the backbone to each residence or business, one of those drops per parcel, is part of the total project, and that'll be divided across the tax base on an ad valorem basis, just like we handle most tax-based costs. And so that means if you are in a $2 million property, you're going to pay twice as much than $1 million property. If you are in one of the town's affordable housing programs, your valuation, your property tax valuation, is already going to reflect that affordable component. So your tax base cost of the construction will be significantly lower. And again, that cost is the entirety of the network and the connection to your house, to your primary dwelling. So there's no upfront cost for anyone in terms of connecting their service, unless you're looking for additional services on your property. You want to connect the barn, or you want to connect the rental house in the back. Those are incremental and those are additional, but the primary service to one residence or business per parcel is included in the total cost. Is that clear?
It was clear to me. I'm just making sure everybody knows it.
Okay.
So
Sure.
thank you.
Go ahead, Mark.
Amy, let me remind you and the committee of a tool we used over a decade ago on the Affordable Housing Board. And that was working with the PUC. And with them, we got all the costs of disconnecting and reconnecting utilities absorbed, and it was not at the expense of the person getting the house for relocation. Is there any way we could work through the PUC so that the utility company has to absorb that? Not our utility company, but whoever.
Well, so that's part of it. We are the utility company, one. But the PUC doesn't currently regulate this type of utility. They may or may not down the road, but they don't at this time. But some of the grant funding that is available out there right now does include subsidizing certain eligible construction costs for particularly HUD recognized housing or clearly eligible affordable units. So that's one of the things we're pursuing. I can't say whether we'll be successful or not, but we are looking at getting those costs for particular affordable units connected.
Doesn't surprise me. You've already figured that out.
I didn't promise we can deliver, but we're going to try.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Amy. Amy, what about like a nonprofit? I mean, what if like the Conservancy, how does that work out with them? Like their property on High Street, there's 2 buildings there if they want to hook up 2 buildings.
Sure, that's an interesting question. They are entitled to that 1 drop per parcel. So however they choose to connect the second, there's a set of choices. The Southeast Light Foundation would be an example. That there are a couple others, churches that are technically exempt properties, say they are eligible for connection. That's a little bit of a nuance that's still in the back of my brain, honestly. Whether we need to be talking about those in a slightly different way. It just hasn't made it to the top of the list yet.
Thank you, Amy. Anybody else?
Honestly.
Anybody else have any questions for Amy? Regarding the topic? What's our action on this? Are we approving this?
You're going to make a recommendation or motion?
Go ahead. If you want to make a motion, Sven, go ahead. I was asking what the act on was. Do you want to just accept it or? Oh, I'll make a motion. I'm sorry. I got it. I'll make a motion.
I'll do it.
I just got caught not having my agenda in front of me because I had it up on Clerk Base and then I closed the screen. I'll make a motion to include the cost of drop construction to 513 accessory apartments and the socialized construction cost of the island-wide broadband network.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Mark,
Aye.
Martha,
Aye.
Keith,
Yes.
Sven?
I
I'm in favor. Motion will carry 5-0. Thank you very much, Amy.
thank the whole
Thank you.
committee.
Next item on the agenda is receive and act on a request of Martha Ball for an extension of deadline to pick up the taxi license under New Shoreham General Ordinances 8-163D.
I'll be recusing from items 5 and 6.
Thank you, Mark. We have a letter from Martha Ball. I'll
I'm
read-
recusing, obviously recusing. I am here if you have questions on 5.
Thank you. Has everybody got a chance to read and consider Martha's letter in the packet? Does anybody have any comments? Questions of Martha?
I guess, Andre, just real briefly, and I did talk to Martha about it too, but I think I'm very much in favor of allowing this. I just, maybe it's contingent upon the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission vote. I just don't want to usurp any other committees, but I'm very much in support of the delay. Or I'm fine with the delay, I guess is the way to put it.
Thanks, Sven. And I think that's what we would do is last time we had something.
Yeah, last time with the tax,
Last time we had something like this, we sent it back, but
John Cullen and a few others, yep.
Is it possible for the town council to approve this contingent upon a favorable opinion from the Motor Vehicles for Hire, so it doesn't have to come back to us?
That's what we did for Pat Evans' taxi license at a recent meeting. So I would be comfortable doing that.
I thought so. That seemed like a month and a half ago.
I know.
Given Pat's week and a half, I'm like, wait,
How many pounds of lobster ago was that on?
no, it's not only that, it's everything. All right, so I'll make a motion to grant Martha Ball an extension of the deadline to pick up her taxi license under New Shoreham General Ordinances 8-163D, pending a recommendation from the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Keith?
Yep.
And Sven?
Right.
I'm in favor. Motion will carry 3-0. Martha, good luck with that. Yeah, you got a little-
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm in process. It's taking longer than I expected.
No, and I also know that you've been trying to get this done. I know that you've spoken to the chief and, I get it. It's just the year that we're having. Next item on the agenda, Mark and Martha coming back. Oh, no, Mark and Martha aren't coming back. Discuss and act on the vacant 2122 taxi license. We have a letter from Tom Durden. Seems to be almost the same issue. It says, if approved by the town council and the Motor Vehicles for Hire, it is my intention to accept the taxi license and have a cab on the road as soon as possible. Thank you for your consideration. So obviously, Tom Durden, his name has come up on the waiting list. And Keisha, can you speak to this? Keisha Brown, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here, Andre.
Thank you, Keisha. I'm just wondering if you have any, obviously, Tom's name has come up and someone's given one up. Could you just let us know?
Yes, so Maureen Quackenbush has not picked up her license. Hold on just a second, I'm echoing.
No, I'm terribly sorry. I know you're in the other room and you have two computers going. I know the echo.
Yes, I'm here now. Yeah, so Maureen Quackenbush has forfeited her license. Tom Durden is next on the line. I'm on the wait list. So he will be accepting the license if you grant it to him tonight.
All right, thank you so much. And I know the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission will tackle this. So Maureen they have a letter from Maureen relinquishing her license?
Yes, Molly has something from her in writing.
Okay.
And we have a special meeting set for Thursday for the Motor Vehicles for Hire to vote on this.
All right, thank you so much on that.
I'd say the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Keith, I see your hand up though.
I just had a quick question around the as soon as possible. I hadn't thought about this, that Tom includes in his letter, and I'm obviously I'll vote for him to get the license, but I know that people have been having a hard time even finding vehicles. Does as soon as possible mean he's beginning his search for a vehicle? Because as soon as possible may mean Labor Day, from what I've heard about the availability of these vehicles.
So from what I've heard, Keith, it's my understanding that he may already have a vehicle that he
Great.
can use.
Terrific. That's great. That's all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like I said, Keith, the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission will take it.
Yeah, right.
An odd year where these are coming up before the motor vehicles they're coming to us first and we're putting them back, but I don't mind approving that. I'm confident.
Either.
I'm confident Tom, will be a great taxi owner or taxi license owner. So,
Andre?
yeah.
While you're finding that, I think it's important for me at least. Again, I don't want to usurp. I think in this case, because they're not meeting, and I know they just pulled us together till Thursday, we won't have a meeting for quite a while after Thursday. So we don't want Tom to sit for a month, or, if they recommend it, then it sits for a month. So for us to do it pending, I think is an elegant way for motor vehicles to have the decision power, but Tom to then, assuming they approve it, to Tom to be able to pull the trigger, quote unquote, Friday. So I think it all makes sense to me.
Thanks, Sven. I'm going to make a motion to grant Thomas Durden II a taxi license for the 2021 taxi year, and contingent on a favorable recommendation of the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, by Sven. Sven, in favor?
Aye.
And Keith?
Yes.
I'm in favor. Motion carries. An easy call on this. Roll call, I mean. Motion will carry 3-0 to grant Tom Durden a taxi license contingent upon approval from the Motor Vehicles for Hire Commission. Item number 7, boards, committees, and commissions. It's just an announcement. Millie, maybe you can step in if we have anybody. I haven't gotten a letter from anybody wanting to be on, but I'll make an announcement. The Commission for Motor Vehicles for Hire is looking for a 3-year position. An individual must not hold a town taxi, bus, or limousine license. And there is one spot, an alternate position on the zoning board available. Sewer District Commission, 1-year alternate, and the Water District also has a 1-year alternate position available. I don't think we have to take any action on that.
Did you get to the sewer and water, Andre?
Oh yeah, there is a letter. I didn't get it by email because it's handwritten. Okay. I'll make them. Does everybody have that letter in their packet? And everybody's read the letter from Diane?
Aye.
Okay, good. Sorry, I wasn't aware of that. I'll make a motion to appoint Diane Haid to serve as an alternate on the board of the New Shore Water Commission. We'll do two motions here.
Second.
All those in favor? I'm sorry, let me clarify that. I'm going to make a motion for Diane Haid to serve on a 1-year alternate position on the Water Commission. I'm seconded by Sven.
I'm seconding that.
Okay, all those in favor? Sven?
Aye.
Keith?
Yes.
Mark?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion will carry 5-0 for Diane Haid, 1-year alternate Water Commission. I'll make a second motion to appoint Diane Haid to serve as a 1-year position as an alternate on the Sewer Commission.
Second, and again, I thank her.
Seconded by Sven. All those in favor? Keith?
Yes.
Mark?
Aye.
Martha?
Aye.
Sven's got a thumbs up. I'm in favor. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Diane Haid. The motion will carry 5-0. Those thanks to Diane Haid for serving on that. Those have been 2 positions that have been on this list for quite some time. Next item on the agenda are minutes. Is everybody prepared?
Do we-
Ready?
Did we do Keith's resignation? Did I miss that? I'm sorry.
We need to accept his resignation to create that position on the zoning?
Thought we did.
Yeah, it's a formality.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept Keith Stover's. I'll make a motion to accept Keith Stover's resignation as a member of an alternate member of the zoning board.
Would it be inappropriate for me to second my own resignation, Andre?
All depends on how excited you are.
No, go ahead.
That's what I was like. Seconded by Keith. And I'll read the letter. While it saddens me to do so, I'm running to resign my position on the town zoning board. While the time on the board has been very satisfying, the members and the professional staff have been a delight to work with, and I will remember my time served there with great fondness. On behalf of the town council, Keith, thank you for doing that. And motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, Keith?
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna get a $1,500 fine for that one. That'd be hilarious. Mark
Yes.
and Sven.
Aye.
Martha.
Aye.
I am in favor. All the motion will carry 5-0. Make a motion. Do we all read the minutes? We all prepared the minutes this evening?
Andre, before you move on,
Yes.
I think Keith maybe at the last meeting suggested that we move this perennial item further up on the agenda. So if we do have an audience at a meeting, there will be a broader dissemination of the information. It can't hurt.
You do.
Yep.
I can't remember. Was it?
Anyway.
And zoning is so important, and you get such a good background, and it's always it's. I just feel like people are so intimidated by the process, by the toxic level of the universe today. I think is unfortunately a very big player, but. We've got to start encouraging people that are, a broader demographic than we have now for these boards and committees. And even if shifting it around in the agenda so it looks like it's more important than it's at the end. Whatever we can do to make it better. Anything's worth a shot.
I agree.
Thank you, Martha. Minutes, June 24th. Are we all prepared to do the minutes tonight?
Yep.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of June 21st, 2021.
Second.
I'm sorry, which one? 21st?
Yeah, I'm not sure that you were here.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm going to abstain. I'm sorry.
Hold on one second.
I wasn't there either.
No.
Was this only about that? This is only motor vehicles, wasn't it?
Yep.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Did you read your minutes, Martha?
Well, no, because I wasn't there, so I didn't read the minutes.
It was seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of Monday, June 21st. All those in favor? Keith?
Yes.
I'm in favor. Sven seems to be in favor. Motion will carry 3-0 with the abstention of Martha and Mark. Make a motion to.
I'm sorry, Andre, can I just ask a question? Because I really liked how the agendas and some of the minutes, they had links to videos and stuff like that. Is that going to be a ongoing thing, Marianne, or you don't have to answer now? But I mean, I just think for the files, having the link of the document with a video, assuming that we have to keep the video for Zoom state reasons. So is that a policy that we do?
Are you talking about the minutes that are on ClerkBase?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Millie, isn't that once the minutes have been approved and we have the video, it's something that ClerkBase does? Because I've seen it also in other communities the same way. And I thought it was a byproduct of the software for ClerkBase.
Yeah, ClerkBase does put up our, has the links to all of our documents, et cetera. And then as far as the video goes, that's an option as well. So
So that means it's going to be ongoing. So when we approve it,
Well-
then the videos.
assuming there will be video ongoing, yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I mean,
Thank
after
you.
the.
That was great. No, that was great. Thank you. I just think it's a really good thing because the minutes contain the core essence of the discussion, but there's a lot more, obviously. Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you, Sven. Make a motion to accept the minutes of June 16th, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor? Keith?
Give me a
Yes.
second.
I'm in favor.
I have one addition.
June 16th. And the addition is
On item 10,
10. Hold on one second. Yes.
I would like to see included in that item that Counselor Emanuel was displeased with police overtime line item. Asked town manager and police chief to watch that line item closer for upcoming year and future.
I wasn't at this meeting, so I don't know if that happened or not. I got to abstain from these.
Yes,
It did happen.
it did happen.
It
Whether they-
was, there were a lot of people who commented on various budget changes that night. I know I did at length on a couple of them, so I don't know. It's fine.
Keisha, did you get all that, or Mill?
I can get that from the tape.
I'll stop in.
Let's, do you want to hold off on approval of these minutes, Millie?
Yes.
Still, you can get it from the tape?
No, thank you.
Oh,
We can move along.
All right. Do we need to make a motion to amend the minutes?
You can just approve them as amended.
Okay.
Did you made a motion to approve the 21st, is that correct? But now you're talking about the 16th?
Yeah, I did the roll on the 21st. We did approve those.
You did that on the 24th? I didn't catch that on the 21st.
I'm sorry. Thanks for keeping me on track. Can we
So this
just-
is for this, the motion I believe was for the 21st and the comment was for the 16th. So maybe you can finish up with the 21st and then move on to the 16th.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Manuel distracted me.
Now, we started with the wrong one from the agenda. That's what got me messed up.
Andre's leading the boat.
All right, so we need to call a roll on the 21st, correct?
Yes, please.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the minutes of June 21st as presented? And it was seconded by Sven. All those in favor, Keith?
Yes.
Mark?
I have to abstain on the 21st.
Okay. Is Martha there too? Yes, Martha was there too. I thought I called that. Okay. Keith, Sven is in favor. All those in favor? 3-0. Motion will carry 3-0 on June 21st. All right. I will make a motion. No, I will not. I'm going to stay out of the 16th. I wasn't there. So Sven, if you want to handle those.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of June 16th as amended by Mr. Manuel and reviewed in the video by Millie.
Second.
Anybody want to second that?
Second.
Thank you. For discussion. Great. Thank you, Mark. Seconded by Mark. Any discussion?
Just okay, good.
I'll have a discussion, which is, I think there was, to Keith's point, it was quite a lively discussion on a lot of different budget items and lines. I'm fine to put Mark's thing in, but I also want it noted that, there were a lot of points that we could ask to have added. I don't see any need to have that. So I'm comfortable. Any other comments? How do you vote, Keith?
I'm a yes.
Martha,
What's his Sven vote?
16th.
Yeah, okay, I agree with what Sven said about the number of comments, and I did think that particular item was explained very well, that it wasn't simply overtime.
I
There's
thought so too.
long-standing complications. But I'm voting yes.
And you voted how?
Aye.
Thank you. And Mark?
Aye.
That's unanimous, 4-0 with Andre abstaining.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
June 16th. All right, so you just closed, you got to do closed ones there too, on the 16th.
I make a motion to approve the closed session meeting of the 16th.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. If we're going to have any dialogue, it's got to be done in closed session. Is there a need for any dialogue on those minutes? Hearing, seeing none. Martha, how do you vote on the minutes of the 16th?
Aye.
Closed minutes of the 16th. Thank you. Keith?
Aye.
Yes.
Mark?
Aye.
I approve as well. 4-0, unanimous with Andre abstaining. Baton's back to you, Andre.
Thank you, Sven. I will make a motion to approve the minutes of May 19th, 2021.
Second.
That's a 6:30 meeting. Sorry. Those in favor? Sven?
Aye.
Mhm. Martha, you approving these? May 19th? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Keith?
Yes.
Mark?
Aye.
Good. And I approve. Motion carries 5-0. May 19th. May
You're
19th.
popping off, Andre.
I know, and I got the town hall too. All right, motion will carry on
Wait,
the,
the storm.
yeah. 6:30 PM minutes, and how about the, make a motion to approve the May 19th, 10 PM.
Second.
All those in favor? Second motion made in second. All those in favor, Martha?
Aye.
And Keith?
Yes.
Mark?
Aye.
And Sven?
Aye.
All in favor, motion will carry 5-0 to approve the minutes of 10 PM, May 19th and May 4th. Make a motion to approve the minutes of May 4th.
Second.
Wait, just a second. We got through May 4th without my saying it was Rhode Island Independence Day.
We did. No, you said
I
it.
don't believe.
You said it. I remember you saying it.
Of course I said it. I always say it.
Would you like that added to the minutes? Because we could amend the minutes.
I in fact want it added. We were the first state to declare independence, folks. Come on.
All right. I will approve the minutes of May 4th as amended by Councilor Ball. Is there a second?
Second.
Look at my Sven. All those, I mean, May 4th, geez, that could be 2 years ago. All those in favor, Keith?
Yes.
Martha? Feels like it. Sven?
As independent state, yes, I vote approval.
Can the minutes of this meeting reflect that I voted independently for the minutes of May 4th
You gonna vote no?
as a Rhode Islander?
Mark? You-
Abstaining, I wasn't present.
Oh, well, there's some independence there for you. Motion will carry for to approve the amended minutes of May 4th, 2021. And, oh, I see no more items on the agenda.
We leaped, or did we leap over June 24th?
No.
No,
Did we approve it?
thought that was the first one.
The June 24th.
No, wait.
24th was the very first.
Okay, I asked if everybody was prepared to approve the minutes this evening. And everybody said yes.
Sounding like me. Okay.
Really, have we approved all the minutes on our agenda this evening?
You have successfully approved all the minutes on your agenda this evening.
Independently.
Independently of what we may be thinking. I do see someone in here that has their hand up, and I will call on 401-439-0888. If you could state your name for the record and let us know what's on your on your mind this evening tonight.
Andre, Bill McComb.
Hi,
Can we
Bill
have an
McComb.
update on, hi, could we get an update on when you'll be meeting in person and when the public can attend?
I'm glad I called on you.
Mhm.
I'm glad I know, because we do have what Mary Ann can answer that. We do have some.
Yeah, so a new technology person was out on site last week. Made him aware of the audio equipment we had that I was not aware of. So the two of us looked at the time. He's coming out tomorrow with additional cables necessary. And if everything works when we test it out tomorrow, I may ask some of the counselors, if not all of them, to meet in the council chambers tomorrow. The executive order is expiring at the end of, it's sunsetting. I think it's June 23rd or 24th. There'll be one more July 23rd, 24th. There's one more council meeting after this, which is July 21st. Is that the correct date, Millie?
Yes, it is.
It's July 21st. At that point, I will not have the public in the room. We still are required to meet via Zoom. And the only reason why at that point I will not have the public in the room is because we need a webcam so we can video it. And the webcam will be in the center of the room so it can see all the council members, and it's not mobile, it's just there. And then after that meeting, we'll be back in person. We will no longer have the requirement of having a Zoom meeting, and at that point, anyone can come. So in August, we'll be back to what you folks were doing way back in sometime in last, maybe February, March timeframe. So that's what we're doing. We do have some charter requirements of continuing with the YouTube and things of that nature. So we will be working on that in the coming months, which may require additional equipment, but at least at that point, we know where we are. The two statutes that were pending regarding the continuation of a Zoom, a hybrid with the Zoom, or people allowed to participate in meetings virtually. Both those statutes did not pass. They did not make it through the General Assembly this year. That does not mean we may not see it again in the future, but at this point, it did not make it through the General Assembly. So the requirement to have people participate in meetings virtually, that executive order will sunset in July and will continue on.
Andre, may I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I still, for the life of me, don't understand why this council is not meeting in person. You can still Zoom the meeting if you'd like, as they've done in the past with the council at the table. I don't understand why the public can't be present in the room if they don't have to be on the Zoom. A Zoom is an option to allow the public to partake. I don't believe that you're required to not be able to meet in person and to have it videotaped as a way or Zoomed as a group. I think that it's unfair to the participants, unfair to the public. With the technology we have, it makes no sense to me whatsoever why the council isn't in the chambers and the meeting can be Zoomed and the public can attend with it also.
Marion, are you good with that?
Zoom isn't an option, it's a requirement.
It's not a requirement. Marion, may I ask a question? Is it a requirement to say that you may have to Zoom it, but you'll put it out through an audio tape, but the council could meet collectively as a group in the chamber, and it could be one group, just like you have Andre, that's being Zoomed over the Zoom process. Because as it is right now, you're not even Zooming this meeting in the sense where the public can't even tie into the Zoom because you don't have the bandwidth. This is basically a large conference call is what we have. And I don't think you're getting the participation from the public that you would if they were able to meet in person. And I think it's also a disservice to the council. I've said this for weeks. I'm very disappointed with the technology we have that we haven't been able to move forward with this. So I've said my piece. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
And never mind.
Thank you, Bill.
We do have new council, we do have new technology team on board, and we're moving along, so.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
But again, I think the wrong information is being given to the public. The council can meet together as a group, and that meeting can be Zoomed. So to say that each one has to be in their home Zoomed is inaccurate.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Mary Ann. Sven, do you have a question?
Just thinking down the future, thank you. And I hope to be there in person tomorrow. But in the future, Marianne, I know you said, I'm not talking 2 months down, or, you know, as everything's set up and the right cameras or right screens, the goal would be that obviously we're in person and there are people in the audience, or just YouTube. I'm not worried about what the state's doing. What are we doing? And I think that Zoom, or at least some visual audio dialogue, is a really good thing. And so I guess my question to you, Marianne, is down the road, 2-3 months, in person and Zoom as a hybrid, or what's the plan?
So as I understand it right now, the Rhode Island general laws does not allow for a Zoom meeting. That is currently being looked at. There are some attorneys that are questioning the current Open Meetings Act. And this is an ongoing thing. And I can tell you right now, by dealing with other towns and communities, there's ongoing discussion as to how we can continue to offer a meeting with a virtual participation. Right now, the state statute does not allow for that. The only reason why we were doing it is because of the executive order that was in place that now will expire. With that said, say if something happens where someone interprets or someone makes a decision that the open meetings law, they can interpret it in a way where it comes back that says we can do Zoom. We do not have the equipment and or technology in place. If I was to put 5 council members in that meeting right now via Zoom, you'd have feedback issues. You'd have other technology related issues. What we will be doing hopefully tomorrow is there'll be a webcam that will show all the council. We will still be running the Zoom meetings, so we have to have staff in there, and we got to figure out how the staff will be doing it to participate in Zoom. I would, more than anyone else, because I haven't had a meeting in person since I've started here, would love to be in the council chamber.
Right.
10 days ago was when I found out of the audio equipment that we had in town hall. I was not aware of that. I wish I was aware of that 6 months ago, because I probably would have had you in the conference room sooner. Keep in mind, when I started, I've never.
Go ahead, Mary Ann, finish.
Let's get to tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll all be in the conference room.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Keith?
perfect, thank you.
Andre, if I can follow up. My point is, if you can all sit in the conference room, you can sit in the council chamber, and people could be sitting in the back. That's my point to this whole thing. And I think the council should be taking more aggressive action to get back into the meeting. Thank you.
Keith, do you have any comments?
I guess now I have 2, but one, what Sven said, which is a bit set apart from interpretation of governor's executive order, etc., but more about what we want to do. It's under open meetings, you can have a meeting as we did pre-pandemic, still offer the people to dial in so that they can see what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm misinterpreting Sven's question, but it is mine. I actually think as much as the Zoom thing, it has offered an opportunity not otherwise get in their car and drive down to town hall to see what's going on, to ask for them, etc. And it seems to me, as long as living within the letter of the law, to have our meetings open to people in person that other things we want to do to enhance public access would not be per statute. That would seem to me to be an odd interpretation.
Thank you, Keith. Obviously, this is on our agenda tonight, so I'll make a motion to adjourn. If anybody else has done talking. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded by Sven. Momo, do you got something to say? Do you want to comment on anything? Did you throw your hands up or you're raising your hand? You good, Mark?
Yeah, I remember meeting in the old town hall, so I can't wait.
You're that old.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor to adjourn. Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor, Keith?
Yep.
Mark, you good with adjourning?
Aye.
Martha?
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes, please.
Where's just shifting on me? And Sven?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. We hope to see you tomorrow night.
Oh, God, so soon.